Greetings.
Strange. I smell sulfur.
Only Philippa Eilhart may enter.
Don't let her die, Vatka.
What is it, Witcher?
Who is that girl?
Cynthia, a leashed sorceress.
A charming expression. Do you also use muzzles?
Leash means a connection between a sorceress and her assistant. An unfortunate term, I admit, but it explains how things are. Cynthia can tap my power, use my spells. She's a conduit. And she's learning along the way. It's convenient, and except for the name, not derisive at all. But you're not here to talk about Cynthia.
Have you heard about a Witcher's school? Apparently the Viper's their sign.
No. Why do you ask?
The Kingslayer wears a medallion adorned with a viper.
Pretentious and childish for my taste. He can't be very smart.
A sorceress like you ought to know bundles about the wild hunt.
A sorceress's knowledge has nothing to do with superstitions.
The hunt's not a superstition.
True. The phenomenon seems to exist.
I want to know everything there is to know about it.
It's strictly atmospheric. It doesn't interest me. Just as whirlwinds, whirlpools, and snowfalls do not interest me.
Your friend Sheila is conniving with Henselt.
I know this, Witcher, but it's no cause for concern. Sheila is there to ensure Henselt doesn't fall prey to the same people who killed Foltest. We don't want him as sovereign of the Pontar Valley, but we also don't need Kedwin to descend into civil war.
Is what they say true? Did Saskia kill a dragon?
Prince Stennis decorated her for it at the court in Vengerberg, so it appears to be true. If you want to know the details, talk to Biggerhorn. Apparently he witnessed it.
How is it that King Radovid's court sorceress and advisor is supporting rebellion in Edirn?
This has grown into more than a simple rebellion, Witcher. Prince Stennis' arrival here confirmed Saskia's right to represent Edirn.
Saskia isn't fighting for Edirn, but for the Pontar Valley. Even Prince Stennis considers you rebels. He hasn't moved against you because war with Kedwin hangs by a thread. Why are you here, Sorceress of Tretogor?
It is my duty. If Henselt occupies the Pontar Valley, Redania and Temeria will respond strongly. The North will disintegrate, its unity gone. A dark scenario that is nevertheless avoidable, provided Saskia is successful and wins the Valley's independence.
Even if she thwarts Henselt, there'll be no independence without agreement from Redania and Temeria.
Temeria's expansionist plans melted away with Foltest's death. Redania's ruler is unpredictable, but even he'll have to respect a victory. I'm here to make this victory a fact.
I'm looking for Triss. Letho forced her to teleport near Vergen.
Letho?
Foltest's killer, perhaps Demavend's too. Will you help me find her?
Certainly. We sorceresses must stick together. We have too many enemies.
Triss contacted you through Sheila de Tanzerville's megascope while in Flotsam.
And I haven't heard from her since.
Can you locate her?
A megascope responds to a person's aura. If I had something of hers, I could find her. You were close to her. Maybe you have something.
I've got Triss's bandana.
Have you learned anything?
Triss was here. Letho forced her to teleport.
Why would he? There are easier ways to travel.
2 of Letho's comrades, probably those responsible for Demavend's death, were hiding among the Scoia'tael. When it became evident in Flotsam that the Kingslayer wanted to dispose of Yorvith, the Scoia'tael leader gave the order to eliminate them. Letho had to reach the unit before the Elven messengers did. He could only do that by teleporting.
I assumed that Triss wanted to teleport to me, but she missed the mark and they ended up in the gullies. What happened next?
Letho left her in a gully, wounded. He probably thought that she'd diversify the local trolls' diet. He himself went to see the elves and massacred the unit with his comrades. They're somewhere on the other side of the fog.
What about Triss?
She escaped from the troll. Everything suggests she's somewhere in the area.
I can assure you she is not in Vergen.
She has to be here. Locate her.
I'll try, but it will take some time. Have you learned anything else?
Sheila ordered Letho and Triss killed.
I can't believe that.
Believe it. I ran into some mercenaries she enlisted to kill Letho and anyone found with him.
She must have meant the other Kingslayers. Are you sure she knew Triss was with him?
Are you so sure of Sheila? There was something going on between her and Triss. I sensed a lot of tension.
A misunderstanding.
Maybe. Let's find Triss and clear everything up.
I need some time. What's going on out there?
Let's see.
What's going on?
The peasants want to take pitchforks to King Demavend's son.
Why?
The Dragonslayer's servant is spreading rumors that Stennis poisoned Saskia. The commoners are in an uproar. They want to dispense justice.
Where's the prince?
Barricaded himself in his room, guarded by nobles. For the moment, the peasants are still respectful, but they are feverish. A fight is inevitable. Help us out. The situation is dire. I'm going to inform the other nobles.
Dogs growl at cats. Cats hiss at the dogs. A noble's a wolf to a peasant.
Forget those animalistic similes and take care of it. I'll try to locate Triss. And should anything happen to Prince Stennis, remember, we need his blood.
I remember.
You wanted to discuss something?
You said we'd need a magical object to cure Saskia. Any ideas where I might start looking?
Magical items do not grow on trees, as you know. Luckily, this area has a long history. There's the Battle of Wraiths, the site of Sabrina Glevisig's death and suffering, the abandoned mines.
I was hoping you'd be specific.
I won't ask you to traipse around with a divining rod, but please try to be a little inventive. Ask the locals, that's always a good place to start. I dare say Alderman Burden knows every last stone in the area. Maybe you should see him. You wanted to discuss something. Remember the antidote for Saskia. It's very important. What's going on?
The peasants want
What?
to drop.
Where's the...
Help.
I'm not sure if Prince Stennis is guilty.
Power. The object of dark desire.
Let's go, before this dark desire becomes too strong and someone gets hurt.
You go. And should anything happen...
Pray tell, what compels you to disturb the Prince of Edirn, Witcher?
I have a few questions.
And you believe I should answer them instead of setting my dogs on you?
I think your Royal Highness has enough foes, here, abroad, in Vengerberg.
The intricacies of succession are not something I wish to discuss with an itinerant monster slayer.
You might be surprised, Prince, but I have more political experience than I'd like.
The famous Geralt of Rivia, invited to the table by Calanth, Foltest's little favourite. I've heard you've even parleyed with the Emperor of Nilfgaard. Think I'm impressed? Calanth is dead. Meve curses your name when she hears it. Foltest was murdered before your very eyes, and the Emperor, as I heard it, he thought you insignificant.
Are you going somewhere with this?
Indeed. You should know that a king sometimes needs a hired thug to take care of dirtier deeds. If the thug is naive enough, instead of reaching into his purse, the king buys him with virtuous words, the flash of his rings, pledges of friendship. And when, having done his deed, the thug departs, swaggering proudly like a peacock, the king discreetly giggles. Truly, I never thought you could be so pitiful. Get out! Pray tell.
I have a few...
And you believe I should answer?
I think your Royal Highness...
The intricacies of success.
I'm trying to figure out where this fog came from. What exactly happened here 3 years ago?
Henselt's mages committed mass murder. A dark day for the knighthood and all people of honor. But it was honor that allowed us to survive. There was no defeat. No victory. Honor stood against wickedness. Virtue against black magic.
You took part in that battle?
My father stayed in the capital. He was to defend Vengerberg. I took to the field. I wanted to stop Henselt before he crossed the Pontar, but I was too late. So I decided to await him at Vergen. Henselt's army was exhausted. He would have triumphed if not for that heinous act. Henselt had mages with him, and they cast a treacherous spell on the entire battlefield. A fiery rain fell from the heavens. Destructive, murderous embers which brought the battle to an end. I gathered the few survivors and withdrew deep into the country. The soldiers were terrified, but Henselt showed no desire to pursue.
You wrote Vergen off.
There's a place in Kedwin where orphans are subjected to cruel experiments. 9 out of 10 boys perish from the pain. Sound familiar? They say that sacrifices are necessary to create one Witcher, one hero to defend the people against monsters.
Not the best analogy.
You know nothing of military strategy, and you've never been responsible for a nation's fate, which is why I forgive you your ignorance.
Only a master mage could have cast such a powerful spell, and I suspect he could not have accomplished it alone.
I remember Sabrina Glevesig. Through the flames I saw her observing the carnage from her mount, dressed in a hunting suit. Straight-backed, dispassionate.
Sabrina. If I remember correctly, she's Henselt's advisor.
Was. Henselt condemned her to death for casting that spell. The Kedwenis roasted in their armor, just the same way the Edirnians did. You know what struck me when all hell broke loose? What I found astonishing and even amusing? Going into battle, we sang our Edirnian songs. They intoned their Kedweni hymns to Creve. But when fire descended from the sky, our cries of pain were no different. We all wailed as humans. For an instant, the magnitude of the tragedy brought together our two warring nations.
I still have no idea where the spectral fog came from.
I'm afraid I don't know either.
Be well, Prince. I need royal blood.
As you know, I've yet to be crowned.
But blood of your royal ancestors flows through your veins.
Well, true, but that doesn't mean I'll shed a drop for some vagabond. Are you a witcher or a vampire?
I needed to save Saskia.
I need you to live. Don't bother me with such audacious proposals.
Succession is the topic of choice in about every inn in the country. I don't know for sure, but I think the hangman of Vengerberg was the last to claim the throne.
My patience has its limits, and at present, only my respect for Lady Saskia restrains my anger. Come to the point, or leave me be.
Tell me, why are you here and not in the capital?
The influential nobles seek to undermine my rightful claim to the throne. Unrest ripples through the kingdom. Saskia has muddled the minds of the peasants, and the burghers demand more rights.
And your opponents are seizing the opportunity.
The Umraut family, in addition to being wealthy and influential, is closely related to the royal line. They could halt my coronation and put forward their own candidate. The families that remain undecided are the key. They must back me. They will do so only once I've shown myself to be a strong candidate. And greatness is something I can achieve only here, at the center of events.
And in the process, steal a little fame from the Dragon Slayer of Bergen. You might be surprised, Prince, but I have more political experience than I'd like.
The famous Geralt of Rivia, invited to the table by Calanth, Foltest's little favorite. I've heard you've even parleyed with the Emperor of Nilfgaard. Think I'm impressed? Calanth is dead. Meve curses your name when she hears it. Foltest was murdered before your very eyes, and the Emperor, as I heard it, he thought you insignificant.
Are you going somewhere with this?
Indeed. You should know that a king sometimes needs a hired thug to take care of dirtier deeds. If the thug is naive enough and wed, truly I never... Get out!